everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Podcast with your hosts, Forbes, George, Cartier, Carter, and Jackpot Jacqueline. How y'all doing today, man?
Hey, I'm feeling good. I am so excited about the growth of our podcast and how many listeners we have. I hope that this podcast is impacting all of you guys for the better. As you saw from our title, we want to help you make more passive income today. So I'm super excited to dive into this topic. Carter, how you feeling?
I'm great, because y'all know I wasn't really supposed to be here. Remember I said I wasn't going to be a part of this podcast at first, and then I hit y'all back like, hey, no, I quit. I'm playing. I'm in here.
Yeah.
So looking back on that, I would have been sick. But again, I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about today's topic because I love talking about helping people make more money. Let's get it.
Yes, indeed. Let's get it. So yeah, today we thought it would be great to give you guys 7 ways to start making income more passively. Now, the reason why I say more passively is because the road to passive income is not passive, right? Like it's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, but once you get it set up and once you get it going, it can be one of the best investments you ever made, right? And I'll give you guys a little quick story on this before Carter gets into his topic. So what we're going to do is we're all going to share a couple of our favorite passive income ideas today. So when you guys probably heard this in another episode, but when I first met Carter, he had no intention of doing any digital products ever, zero. He had a very highly efficient, successful advisory firm that he was refining, introduced me to automations that I hadn't done before. So he had it. It wasn't like he wasn't entertaining it. It was good with good reason. He was extremely laser focused on the end goal that he wanted to create for his business and his lifestyle alignment. However, he got introduced to digital products. Some guy, I don't know who he is, but some guy kind of, told him he maybe should check it out.
Shut up.
And he did it, and now it's changed his business trajectory, and more importantly, his impact. Right, it's changed how many people he's been able to reach and impact, and ultimately make passive income. So that's a perfect segue for Carter to talk about one of his top ways of making money passively.
Thank you so much. So first of all, guys, I just want you all to know that having one stream of income is too close to no streams of income. So
Say that again.
Having one stream of income is too close to no streams of income. Mm-hmm. Now, what George is talking about is like, I had a really good one income stream, right? And then I didn't want to hear anything else because I was laser focused. It's a good time to be focused. It's also a good time to listen to your friends, right? Especially if you value those people's opinions. So she taught me about digital products. I'm talk to you all a little bit more about that today. But it was another way to make money. So it wasn't like I had to give up one stream. I was able to just have 2, and then 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, whatever. But so we're going to talk about 7 today. So the first one we're going to talk about is digital products. So what does that mean? Digital products for me is a way for you to sell your genius. Okay, let me say that again. Digital product is a way for you to sell your genius. So whatever you do, whether you're a chef or you're a lawyer or you're a mom teaching kids how to read, whatever you do, you have some genius in you, and other people will pay you to help them get the shortcut of your results. So for me, I have great tax acumen. So I created digital courses, ebooks, and things like that of basically packaging my knowledge up and letting you all borrow my brain, right? So that is, and I love digital products because one, you make it once and pay you forever. So one question everybody should ask themselves is, what can I make one time that will pay me forever, right? What can I create one time that will pay me forever? And my digital products, I created one time and they've been paying me years into the future. So I highly encourage you all, if you haven't looked into like getting a digital product, I highly recommend you create one and then sell it. And the biggest thing about digital products is the impact, right? You're able to reach thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions of people from something that you created one time and actually changed their life for the future. So get your digital product game going. George, I appreciate you for making make that push. And Jacqueline is coming out with her digital products soon. So we'll all be digital shawties. So Number two, and I don't know if I told you all, but this will help me quit my job. So Turo is a second passive income stream I want to talk about. And real quick story, I was at a job I didn't like at a accounting firm. I wanted to quit and start my business, but I wanted to have some income to supplement the in-between move. So I had my Dodge Challenger. The note was like $350 and insurance was $100. So together it was $450. And my friend told me about a platform called Turo. And I'm like, bro, what? I'm not letting nobody rent my car. You crazy? This is my pride and joy. Like, what's wrong with you? He's like, oh no, man, like they take care of everything. So I listed it. And guys, within the first month, my car made about like $1,200. So it paid its note and it gave me some more money in my pocket. So like any smart entrepreneur, I'm like, wait, well, if this works with one car, why not get more? So I got about a fleet of 5, and they actually end up supplementing my work income. So I was able to leave my firm and start my business with this fleet of cars. And so for any of you all that have a car you don't use or you work from home, especially with COVID, try listing your car out on Turo. It's a great way for your car to pay for itself and then some. You don't have to do anything for this. You literally just post it, pass somebody the keys, take pictures. And, you know, now at this day and age, people are making tens of thousands, $100,000 of dollars off Turo. And it's an amazing platform to rent your car. So for those of you all that have a vehicle looking for some extra income, check out Turo. Anything you all want to add on those two things?
Yeah, so I know Jacqueline had a stint with Turo, so I'll let her chime in on that. I use Turo as well, and same thing. I just listed my own personal car, and I was like, whoa, like this is paying for itself. I wasn't using it. Phenomenal platform. But what I would love, Carter, if you could actually, on the digital product front, I know we want to be a very tactical and tangible podcast. In 90 seconds, for someone who's like, man, I want to do a digital product, but like, I don't know where to start. How would I do it? Give them your 90 seconds of sauce. A to Z digital product, 90 seconds. Let's go.
And y'all lucky because I literally just paid, y'all know I paid 30 grand for that mastermind. Our mentor just taught us how to make an ebook in 2 hours. So I'm gonna give y'all the game. So everybody get your pen and paper out. So download an app called Otter, Otter, otter.io if you're on your computer. You can literally talk into this app and it will transcribe everything. So whatever you want to make your digital ebook on, you talk into that app and create your ebook. Then you take that translation and send it to somebody on Fiverr for formatting. They're going to now format and all the words and the misspellings and the periods and the commas and handle all that, right? So now you send it to somebody on Fiverr, they handle that for about $100. Now you send that to a graphic designer to make the cover and add the cleanliness to all the pages, guys. And within a 24-hour period, you can have your entire ebook made, ready to go and ready for sale. Again, that app is Otter. The second app for formatting is Fiverr, and then find somebody on Upwork or Fiverr to do your graphic design, and your ebook is done in 24 hours. You're welcome to the game.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, in less than 90 seconds, he gave y'all the game. So now the reason why I wanted to do that is because people hear this stuff that we're talking about, think it's high level. And they're like, man, I would do that, but how would I, so I wanted y'all to just be proved that it doesn't take much to get the job done. So
new ebook dropping soon, just saying.
New ebook dropping soon. Yeah, I got a new one coming too. So look, guys, I want y'all to create that's the easiest one. You can do ebook, you could do a course, you could do whatever, but an ebook is like, you can get that thing done, right? Package up your genius. And if you work for somebody, newsflash, someone's paying you 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 a year to do something, right? So package up that knowledge and sell it. And now you can make money passively.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I had a stint with Turo. I think the only thing I'd add to that is just read the insurance, read the insurance policies. They've changed it actually recently. So it's like a tiered system. They used to just be everybody gets insurance no matter what. Now it's like you got to pick this share with Turo of like, okay, I'll give y'all 30%, I'm gonna keep 70, and then I get this insurance policy. So read through all of that. Okay. If you are short on cash, it may be best for you to take that 65, 35, 65 your way, 35 their way, because that gives you like full insurance, mechanical, physical. So that's my tip. Just read through insurance. And then on the digital product side, Carter did this bomb ass masterclass that is in the Melanin Millionaires Club. So if you're part of the club, go into the Business Boss channel and you have access to that. You need that because that's not 90 seconds, but it's giving you a lot of game in less than an hour.
And Jacqueline, if they're not a part of the club, how do they become part of the club?
Oh, just click the link in the show notes and you can sign up.
Yeah, melaninmoney.com/join.
Just have to make sure they know how to do that, Let's get it.
Super easy for y'all. All right. So Carter, thanks for sharing those two great passive income strategies. I'm going to share a couple myself. So one that I really love, and I literally just did this just so that I could test it out. Because I'm the type of person, I don't like to talk about something I haven't done. I just don't like that. All right. So I was like, let me just see how this works. So back in 2018, I needed some more content for my brand. And I was always having trouble with like flaky videographers and photographers and content creators. And I was like, if I'm having this problem, I know other people are having this problem. So what I did was I said, I want to create an agency that connects businesses who need that service with people who can do it, right? I'm not going to be editing any video. I'm not going to be posting anything on social, but I know I can find those people. So what I did was I would go to business pages that looked a little like, I could tell they were a big enough brand, but their Instagram wasn't doing it justice, right? And I would reach out, I would find a point of contact, and I would just say, hey, do you feel like you're missing out on money by not having your Instagram profile set up properly? And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I would show them a comparison, like, well, this is what your profile could look like, but this is what it actually looks like. Right. And it's like, man, well, I guess you're right. I was like, man, I just kind of broke down some stats to them on how they were leaving money on the table. Long story short, the baseline price that I was charging was $2,500 a month for social media management. Right. And what I knew is that between Fiverr and a couple of people that I could find, and I didn't even have the people when I secured the first contract, the people that I could find that they could facilitate the graphic design and the management of that social media channel. Right. And so I think I ended up paying them like $600 and I was making $2,500. And literally I was spending 7 minutes a month, just like making sure the report got sent to the business, right? Making the difference of 2,500 minus 600. Right?
Can you quantify that for people, how much money you were making in an hour, bro? Like you said, say that again.
So I was making roughly net profit, $1,900 for every 10 minutes that I spent that month, which was just 10 minutes for the entire month.
Bag drop.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So let me break down the concept. The concept is this, right? Because again, I don't want y'all to get like, oh my gosh, that sounds good. George could do it. Here's the concept. The concept is you identify a service that somebody in the marketplace needs. You find someone who can do that service and you become the middleman to connect the dots, right? Here's a very tangible example. We have beautiful podcast graphics, right? Now, we pay a little premium for our graphics because it's all wrapped up into a whole package. But there was a time when I would just go to Fiverr.com and I would get my podcast edit graphics for like $15 or something like that, right? Light bulb went off. Man, I could go to a business who has janky looking podcast videos or whatever on their page. Say, you got a podcast, shouldn't you be posting higher quality videos? I'll give you 12 a month for $300, right? Fiverr's only going to charge me like $50 for those 12 videos. Follow what I'm saying? And so all you have to do, again, is find somebody who needs something, find a service or a person that can do the work, and then you bridge the gap. Are there a couple steps in between? You got to vet it out, probably want to get a sample, probably want to understand their workflow, all that, yes. But conceptually, it's a really easy way to make money. So that way, you can never make the excuse to, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what my skill is. I don't know what business I want to start. Just find a problem that somebody else has, and there's definitely somebody who can facilitate it. So that's the first one. An arbitrage agency. I actually sold that business because again, it was so easy, but I was just like, man, I only did this because I wanted to see if I could do it. And it's still up and running. I go and check their page. I'm like, man.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So arbitrage agency. The other one, actually, I'm gonna be super transparent. What is my other one I'm talking about today? Because I don't have the agenda up.
You're talking about drop shipping. Drop shipping.
Okay, great. Drop shipping. And the reason I want to talk about these two back to back is because conceptually, they're the same thing, right? Conceptually is I created something, right? You create something that somebody wants, right? You have somebody else who fulfills it on the back end. So the power of drop shipping is you might want to start a t-shirt brand, mugs. There might be something you want to sell. But the barrier to entry is spending money on inventory and hoping that people are going to buy your product, right? When I first started Melanin Money, I had no idea that people were like, I could lie to y'all and say, nah, I knew off the rip, like people was going to buy these shirts. I had no idea, right? And so before I went and bought all this money on inventory, first thing I did is I just created a Shopify store, and they have this app called Printify, right? They also have one called Printful. Those are what you call print on demand companies. So what that means is when I go and get I think I spent $20 on the 3B logo, and God only knows how much that's made me. But I got the Black Brilliant Billionaire in the Making typography made on Fiverr. On Fiverr. I didn't even know a graphic designer. I got it made on Fiverr, right? That's the only thing I spent money on. And then I got my Shopify store for $30 a month, I think it was, or even cheaper than that. I took the Black Brilliant design, put it on a mock-up inside of Printful, which is on the website on Shopify, and then I just started selling it, right? Then once I started seeing people buy it, at some point I was like, you know what? I think people like this. I don't mind buying inventory now. But at that point, I didn't know. So the power of drop shipping is I didn't have to touch one shirt. I didn't have to worry about sending it out. I didn't have to worry about fulfillment. I didn't have to worry about losing money. I only spent money when someone bought something. Someone buys a $30 shirt, Printful charges me $12. They pack it, they ship it, they do everything, and I'm the hero, right? So that's the power of drop shipping. You can put something on a mug. If you got a phrase that people always laugh when they hear you say it, put it on a mug, put it in a drop shipping store. Give yourself 30 days to see if you can cover your Shopify costs, right? Your Shopify store is $30, right? We built a 7-figure e-commerce brand off of $50 Fiverr design.
Oh, right? Man, no excuses. Like to get started, we're debunking all excuses. None. You can start digital product with just your voice. You got Turo with the car that you own right now. You've got Arbitrage Agency with literally nothing, just an idea of somebody who needs help. You've got drop shipping with make your own design on Canva. Like no excuses, none.
Yeah, and we gave y'all like the blueprint. It wasn't like we just told y'all to do it. It's like a step by step. He just I never knew that story, how the brand started and how of a low barrier to entry it was. And now I'm looking like, why I don't have my own clothing brand, right? Because I'm getting oh, wait a second now.
Yeah. Now what I will say, like there's a lot of learning as you decide to transition from selling stuff to building a brand. There's a lot more that goes into it. And maybe on another episode, I'll break that down. But I was able to start and get things moving with very low barrier, less than $100. My first website, I did on a lunch break myself. You know what I'm saying? So guys, no excuses. But yeah, guys. So Jacqueline, now we want to tee it up to you for a couple of your favorite passive income ideas.
Let's go. Bring us home. Bring us home, Queen. Bring us home.
So the first one is, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. So similar to Turo, we are all familiar with Airbnb. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard of Airbnb. You know what it is. And you may have even rented a space on Airbnb. But just like you rent a space on Airbnb, you can also be the leaseholder. You can also be the person who rents the space on Airbnb. And if you've looked at those prices on there, you're like, dang, I'm paying $1,200 for a weekend. When I know for a fact, this space, maybe their rent is, everybody doesn't think financially, but I do. And I'm like, man, I know this space costing them about like $2,000 a month. So based off of my trip and my friend's trip next weekend, they're already making profit. So with Airbnb, you can start just as simple as like a house hack. So that's kind of how I started. Was I had a space. Carter, I feel like you got something big to throw in here. Let's go ahead.
And I was trying not to disrupt you, but I love what you just said. Like the things that you're paying for, you're looking at the other end of it. Like, how is that person? Where's my money going? And how is that person making money? And I think the only reason I want to cut you off, we all need to do what Jacqueline is encouraging us to do. Whenever you're spending something, think about the end consumer. Where's your money going? How much money is this person making off you? And can you be on the other side of investor versus consumer? And I love the fact that you think like that all the time.
Either you're the consumer or the collector. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And I posted something about that where I was like, once you start investing, you will transform your mind to an investor from a consumer, because you understand the excess money that you have coming in. You understand what you can do with that. Like you understand, like you started with your Turo car, right? You're like, okay, I got this car. Cool. I'm making some money from it. And you're like, wait, if I'm making money from this, what if I had more cars? What if I had another car, right? So it's like your mind was expanded from that one opportunity. So once you get these other opportunities, then your mind just transforms, right? So for example, when I was in college, I started making small investments into different like private equity opportunities. So different small businesses. So when you're making these injections into these small businesses, you want to maybe go see the small business. Like, okay, how is this business making money? Like, what are its costs? How do people pay them? Right. So I was going into these businesses and I would walk around and I'll be like, okay, this build out didn't cost them that much because they've got an open ceiling. I see this desk right here doesn't have like any backing to it. There's no real lighting. So I know this space is really cheap. So it's just like certain things that you start to examine and certain things that you start to learn when you start to shift your mind toward making money, right? You start to shift your mind toward being an investor. Okay, so you're either going to be the producer or the consumer. And this is one thing that I noticed and something that I honestly need to be more accountable for. But I noticed that I was watching way more YouTube videos than I was putting out. And I'm like, wait. Did you drop it again? We didn't hear it. I noticed I was consuming way more than I was producing. And I know that I have enough content, enough knowledge, enough brand equity at this point to be producing more YouTube videos. So I'm like, okay, I just caught myself there. So for anybody who's listening to this, I want you to potentially catch yourself to say, dang, I've never done not one of these. I've never done not one of these.
Real quick, in the spirit of accountability and talking about consumption. So here, I'm gonna put myself on the hook, and Jacqueline, I want you to follow it up. My new ebook is dropping at the end of this month. I haven't written a single word, but it's coming out because I want to show y'all how the power of execution, right? So if Carter just told us how to do it, super simple. I've created digital products in the past. I've been knee deep in building up and making sure this Melanin money infrastructure is ready to go. But execution, by the time the clock strikes 12 on December 30th, my ebook will not just be done. It'll be ready.
September or December?
September.
Okay, so you said December. So September 30th. Okay, September 30th. Gotcha.
September. Maybe I meant to say September. September 30th. How is it 30 or 30 for the end of this month?
Yeah.
My ebook will be ready for y'all to purchase. Right. So
ready.
I'm putting it out there on the podcast because it's going live. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting it out there. So Jacqueline, when is your digital product drop?
Well, I mean, so mine's coming out October 1st too, period. Because that was my date. So Jack, do you have one? Jacqueline, do you need to have one by October 1st too?
So we got a challenge?
On the same day. I mean, I'm just saying, mine's already gonna be right October 1st. I actually, mine's not ready by October 1st, I have to send my mentor program $5,000. That's how we put skin in the game. If my ebook's not done by October 1st, I have to donate $5,000 to somebody share you, and somebody that's gonna be ready. So, do you want to? I mean, October 1st.
Jump in on this.
I mean,
guess what? I'm creating a financial transformation course. Okay. I don't know what's going to be called yet, but what I've noticed from the club is people need a baseline. They need a baseline.
We actually, is it going to be done?
It's going to be done. It's going to be done.
We actually what it's called. We actually.
Can I sell my course a little bit?
When is it going to be done? People want to know. Go ahead.
Dang, they want to know what it is, right? So I'm helping people with that baseline financial literacy and that understanding there, right? And so some of this mindset shift and the numbers behind it. Okay. So you need this if you're just getting started in the financial literacy, personal finance game. Okay. So that's going to be done way before October 1st. Okay. So,
okay.
I mean, I kind of feel like we should all stick with that date.
Yeah. No, you're going to be done early, Queen. Go and knock it out.
Yeah, you know it's going to be done early.
That's the deadline. October 1st is the deadline.
Yeah, it's the deadline. So, if you finish early, we get to work on your launch. So we good. See, this is what I'm saying. Find people around you that's going to motivate you and push you. We all just push each other to do something great for ourselves and other people. So have better friends. Go ahead, Jack.
He said have better friends.
Have better friends.
That's hilarious. So that's Airbnb. So those are like the real new modern ways to make money, right? And passive income, I tell people, it's never truly 100% passive, because anything that we just mentioned is going to require maintenance. Even your digital products, they require maintenance, upkeep. You got to answer questions all day from emails because people didn't read your whole entire like listing of what comes in the course and all that. So everything requires some kind of maintenance and upkeep with passive income. It just does. Even if you got real estate, something's got to be done somewhere, or you got to pay somebody to do something.
Facts.
So those are all new ways. Okay, let's talk about an old traditional way to get passive income. It's truly passive.
Yeah. But you got to do the front end work to build the money to make it passive.
Yeah, fair enough.
You do. And it still requires upkeep. Dividend investing. You can't just set your investments and forget them. And I can share a quick story on why that is. But let me tell you what dividend investing is first. So for those of you who are new to the investing world, dividend investing is when you make investments into stocks that pay dividends. Okay. What is a dividend? A dividend is a reward for investors based on profits of the company, right? So for example, Apple pays a dividend to its investors because they are a profitable company and they want to keep their shareholders happy, right? So what you can do is you can create a portfolio of investments that are targeted specifically at stocks or mutual funds that pay dividends, right? So what do you do with those dividends? You can have those dividends paid to you in the form of cash, and then you can take that cash and you can pay your bills with it, right? So people consider that a stream of income, a passive stream of income. Okay. Or you can grab the drip merchandise from melaninmoney.com and we can talk about a dividend reinvestment plan. So a dividend reinvestment plan is simply, instead of having your dividends paid to cash, you can have them reinvested into whatever holding you have. So you get dividends from Apple. So you get a dividend every quarter from Apple. That's $100. You can have that money just reinvested back into Apple. So they'll just take that money, they'll go buy, a fraction of a share of Apple, and then boom, you got more Apple stock in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as sexy as it gets over here, right? With dividend investing. So it's pretty straightforward, honestly. And it is, of the ways that we've mentioned so far, it is pretty hands-off, because what do? You got a phone, got a computer, you got an investment account, you put some money into it, you buy these dividend paying stocks. So I think that it is actually a really sexy way to make passive income. Now, let me tell you why you cannot buy a stock and just forget about it forever. So this was kind of back before like E-Trade really picked up, and like now you get email notifications and text messages from your brokerage company. Like you have an app and it sends you notifications on the app. Okay, so pre that, there was a gentleman, he decided that he was going to buy Amazon stock like way back in the early 2000s. So he was like, yeah, I'm just going to buy some of it and I'm just going to forget about it, right? So that's like really what you're supposed to do with your investments, right? We remember when the pandemic started and that meme was going around that was like, don't touch your face, don't touch your investments. Yeah, don't touch your investments, right? So it makes sense. He's like, yeah, I'll buy Amazon. I think that they're going to do amazing. And then, I'm just going to forget about it. So he does that. So he remembers about it like 18 years later or something like that.
Wow.
And he goes back, and I think he maybe had like Scottrade, or he bought it on some other platform that was then bought up by like E-Trade. And so through like the transfers of the brokerages, he was like, okay, I'm not exactly sure where my money is. So what happens is, when you don't claim your money after a certain amount of time, this happens with life insurance, it happens with banks, it happens with investment portfolios, it goes to the state. And it's now claimed by the state, and the state holds your money. So basically what happens is, if you have stock, they sell out of your stock when that happens.
They liquidate your position. Yikes.
They don't want to be responsible for managing your stock.
Damn.
So they sold out of his stock after not that long of him having it. So basically what happened was, he calculated it and he was missing out on like $80,000 worth of gains.
So, it could have been worse than that. Could have been
worse. It's because Amazon was on a 10.
Yeah. But it's still tough.
Yeah, absolutely. But think about it. Like, you're still going to be very upset if you're like, I set it and forget it years ago, and then I really forgot it, and I tried to come back and there was nothing there. So the reason why I know this story is because he was trying to sue the state for the money that was missing for that gain. So it was just really funny. And that's why I'm saying you cannot set and like forget your investments. Okay. That's why we say review your portfolio once a year,
at least
see what's doing good, see what's not doing good. make some changes, do some rebalancing. That is one of the sexiest ways to make passive income.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do y'all a favor. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do y'all a favor because again, in the spirit of it, execution and making it tangible, because y'all gonna say, here, I hear the tears already. But what stock should I pick? How am I gonna know which ones are the best dividend? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a class this month. Well, I'll do a recording. It'll be loaded to the Financial Flicks network, right? On how to supercharge your portfolio with dividend investing. I'm gonna give you 10 top dividend paying stocks. I'm gonna let you know which ones they are. I'm gonna give you the dividend yields so that if you don't know which ones to choose, we're gonna give it to you. All you gotta do is be a member of the club, right? So be a member of the club. Matter of fact, if you listen to this podcast right now, because I'm probably gonna drop it pretty soon, head over to melaninmoney.com/join. And when you join, shoot me a message and say dividend class. So that way I know that you're gonna tap into that class. So go ahead and join, send me the message, and I'm gonna make sure that you guys get access to that class.
Facts. Speaking of the Millionaire Club and classes, on this 7th one, we did say 7, right? We had 7 passive income streams. The 7th one, we're going to have a young lady come in and give a class about this. Shout out to Danielle. So the 7th one is the vending machine business. I've been seeing a lot of this on social media. I don't really know much about it, but I know a lot of people, and one of my friends included, are running up a bag with this vending machine business. So I can't wait to Danielle's presentation on the vending machine business. I'm gonna be tuned in because I'm looking for another stream of passive income. When is that class again?
It's the 15th.
15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's today.
It's today.
But if you missed the class and you're listening to this after it airs, you'll be able to see the class in the club, in the community. We'll get it posted for you there so that you can have access to that. But I think that's really interesting, Carter. Like, all 3 of us, we've all done all of these different ways to make money, right? Like other ways that we're not even listening here. We'll talk about it later. But none of us have done a vending machine. Like,
when people say like I need to make some more money and they think it's not enough money in the world, like there's so many ways to make money. You just gotta pick one. Like just
that's why I created that shirt. Shout out Melanin Money, like eclectic equity. Get money always in all ways, right? Like a matter of fact, we should do like a little series where like we like interview like a sneaker flipper, like just these abstract ways that people are making money, right? Because like there's so many cool little ways to do it.
There's so many cool ways to do it. And the problem that most people have is they give up too early. Like you might not make, whatever you're looking to make in your first month or two. It may take you 6 months, right? Yeah. Because if you listen to our episode before this, we talked about building a brand. So if you need a brand, go back and listen to that episode. But a lot of times if you have that brand, you're able to pivot. So it's really cool because I was talking to Danielle before she does this class, and she was just saying how she had built a brand from her vending machines before she was teaching other people how to do it. So when COVID hit, she was able to pivot and she was able to start selling an ebook and start doing courses to make up for the money that she lost from everything being shut down and nobody really going to the vending machines that she had.
Yeah.
So I think that it's pretty awesome what she's been doing. And the fact that people are making thousands of dollars a month on vending machines, it seems so rudimentary, right? It seems like so like you're like, yeah, it's you put some quarters in there, like you get some money, cool.
Hey, I got an idea. I got an idea, y'all.
Killing it.
I got an idea. What's up? I got an idea, right? Like if y'all don't know, I'm an angel investor. I've invested in like 6 startups. And I believe at least 1 or 2 of them are gonna get acquired or go IPO.
Only need one.
Only need one, right? But because I'm at a stage where like I want to, again, I don't want to take on any more jobs, right? Like I want to anything I do to be passive. So what I want y'all to do is if you are willing to do the work, we talked about arbitrage, right? And what that teaches you is that there's 3 elements to every deal. Every deal in life, there's 3 elements. There is the person who has the technical know-how, the person who can build the house, the person who has the money to buy the house, and then the person in the middle who connects both people, which might be a realtor. So I want you to be the person who becomes the technical know-how. I have the money to fund it, right? And maybe all of us go in on this, but if you have a really good income idea, generating idea, and you want to pitch it to us, because maybe you don't have the financial resources, but you want to run the vending machine business, like let's call it like Melanin Money Shark Tank, right? Like you can pitch us. If you're willing to immerse yourself in learning how to master that business, I will put myself on the hook to say I'll come with the capital. Right?
Wait. Can I say, like, there are so many opportunities out here. Like, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I need to make money in some type of way, like, there's so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities out here. I don't have enough time.
That's a fact.
I don't have enough time. So yeah, we're gonna do our own MMC Shark Tank. You on board, Carter?
Yeah. Of course.
Money munchie snacks.
As long as I can be the Mark Cuban of the show, I'm good.
Yeah, you mean you gotta cross your legs and get your pen and pad out. But
grilling people.
So if y'all got a business, you can break down the numbers as to why it makes financial sense, right? You can see a road to profitability. Now this isn't for startups. This is for cash flow businesses today. I already got startups I'm investing in. I'm talking about, hey, I got this trucking play, I got this vending machine play, I want cash today, right? If you got a business and you willing to be the expert at that thing, right? And we come with the capital, hey, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it happen. So picture.
You got a digital product, like,
yeah.
I'm in here. Okay, so I want us to debunk a myth really quickly. Wait, let me say that again so that Donald can make this like the sexy clip for social media. I want to debunk a myth really quickly. And the myth is that you need 7 different streams of income to be financially successful. What do you think about that, Carter?
I think as long as having one is dangerous. It doesn't have to be 7. Find it in between. Like, I love having like a big 3 that I focus my attention on. And then if I got any more than that, they have to be completely passive. Like, if it's gonna be an Airbnb business, I need a VA running it and whatever. I like to have 3 passive income streams, and then I'm good. So I don't think you need 7, but hey, look, if you can get 7, 10, 15, do your thing, but don't think about 7. Think one at a time. People's biggest mistake, they think 7 and they do nothing. Get one. Right. Systemize, automate that, get another, systematize, automate that, and then keep it moving.
Yeah. So my thought process is, I think it's about how you approach it, right? Like, if you are approaching it like you're going to get 7 hustles, like, then no, right? Like, all you're going to do is burn yourself out and you're not going to be great at anything, right? So to Carter's point, become great at one thing. And I think I said on the last podcast, like, wealth is made through concentration. It's preserved through diversification, right? So create that first stream of income and then take profits from that one to create other ones. Now, you can do it in 2 ways. You can either create profits and like buy a business or invest and create passive income, or you can reinvest the money to make your business more sustainable because you have support staff, which frees you up to be able to do that second or third thing, right? Exactly. But the moral of the story is you got to have one stream, one waterfall. Right. You got to have one waterfall, as Carter likes to put it, so that you can really be powerful. But if you think that you're going to piece together your way to 7 figures, you're sadly mistaken. Right. That's my opinion.
Yeah. We're making you the Kevin of the Sharks. You're the Kevin O'Leary of the Sharks.
Yeah.
But that's true. Like, because you only have so much energy. So if you hop out here, and I had a young lady call me, right, for a financial planning consultation, right? She wanted to leave her job. She said, this is what I'm doing. She said, I'm starting a mortgage brokerage company. I'm starting real estate. I'm starting an insurance company. And then she was doing actually like cooking and some other kind of consulting. And I was like, whoa, sis. So you're going to leave your corporate job to start all 5 of these at the same time. Heavy hitters, like, these are heavy hitters. An insurance company, a brokerage company, and you're going to be a realtor. Like, I'm like, look, you have to take a step back and realize you only have 24 hours in a day, and you only have so much energy. Like, you're going to be so much better served by just focusing on one thing, building up one business, and then branching out from there. But build up one business, get you one steady income stream, and then build the other. And it's also, Carter's been a great example of this, being able to pivot from what you're doing, right? So you have your advisory business, right? Co-field advisors in Carter's case. And then he was able to pivot from there, and he was able to pivot and open up to ebooks and then open up to other digital products. And so it's like, wow, so now I have 3 streams of income, now there's some other things that you can add on from there, but you build your main thing first.
And I couldn't move and pivot anywhere until I had systemized and automated that first business. So don't try to move on to the second without getting systems and automation done for the first. I think that's again the biggest takeaway for people. One, and then move on to the next.
Yeah. And to kind of close this out, like one thing that I want, and Carter is a great example of this too, is it's not necessarily about having so many streams. It's about how many different ways can you sell something through a campaign, right? So for example, like even take our firm, the advisory firm, Financial Capital Wise. So investment, we only have 2 revenue streams, financial planning and investment management. That's it. Financial planning, investment management. But no 401k left behind is a campaign to attract people who have money lingering wherever they want to go to that revenue stream, right? Same revenue stream. We have end of the year investing, right? For entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out where they can tuck money away, right? So we have 7 different ways for the same revenue stream. So instead of trying to figure out how many different ways can you make money, it's how can I repurpose and reposition how I articulate what I'm doing. So for example, in Carter's example, his concept is helping you save money on taxes, but he did a class with Terry on taxes for traders. So that's a niche audience, right? How to say, if you have a Turo fleet business, the best way to say, you see what I'm saying? It's the same revenue stream. I'm just thinking of new ways to articulate Airbnb, right? So that's what I would encourage you to do. Instead of trying to get 7 new different businesses or different ways to make money, how can I squeeze the life out of the one that I have and create these other tiers or pillars that essentially are associated with the main thing, right?
Ooh. So I can tell you, so this person actually left their Instagram so that we can send them their free giveaway from their review for our podcast.
Oh, so, this is the review. They say I'm gonna get my free money.
So our b.lux.co gave us a 5-star review, and this is how you can squeeze the life out of something, right? Remember that money comes to me easily and effortlessly. That's her title. I'm like, that's amazing. I love that. And then she put, absolutely love this podcast. I'll be joining the Melanin Millionaire community this month. Okay, we'll be on the lookout for you. And then she said, this has been motivational and inspirational so far. Keep up the great work.
Love it. We do it for the people, and I'm glad that I know we're making a difference, but it's great to hear. Isn't it great to hear how much we're making a difference?
It's great to hear. It's like fuel. It's like, man, it's a confirmation, like we're doing the right thing. Because at the end of the day, podcast is a free platform. We record 2 episodes at a time. We're on here for at least 2.5 hours between the banter in between, and we're doing it all for you guys, right? So those reviews mean the world. So if you're listening to this right now and you've yet to leave one, please take 2 minutes to leave a review and let us know what you think. And who knows, you might be the lucky winner of a giveaway. So it doesn't hurt to leave a review.
Absolutely. And make sure you tap in with us in the Melanin Millionaires Club if you want to take a deeper dive into these passive income streams, how we have built ours and how we help other people build theirs, and just from other people who are currently going through building their own. So thank you guys so much for tapping in, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.
Gang gang.